Zindu, a proud Dactyl warrior, gazed across the gutted battlefield and frowned. It was 4 months into a 2-week pacification skirmish, and things had almost heated up to the point of atomics, with peace negotiations not even on the horizon. It was setting up to be another clown-faced Nebula shitshow, and here he was, stuck on the front lines with some Terrans as his only foxhole buddies. And as the Terran saying went, never share a foxhole with someone crazier than yourself. Except all Terrans were crazier than the craziest Dactyl. He turned away from the front and went inside the tiny sandbagged bunker that was their forward command post. "Ah, Sindu, gather your comrades, mail call is here." The tall, four-armed Dactyl nodded, saluted, and went outside to call in the nearby Terrans. Doubtless they'd have some kind of strangeness from home, maybe cookies or racy photographs. Who knew with Terrans? Once inside, along with the 5 Terran soldiers he served with, packages and letters were handed out. The youngest, Terrence, was handed a simple letter from his fiancée, which he tore into eagerly. But before he read more than a paragraph, he started ranting about Dear John. His name was Terrence, and somebody named Jody. Sindu heard the words, but he did not comprehend. The second soldier, Sergeant Zim, received a civilian-grade shotgun and ammunition from his father to help keep him safe in the trenches. This was received with backslaps and cheers from his comrades, even though Sindu thought that their issue rifles were more than sufficient. PFC Bryson received a stasis-locked box of 33 homemade cookies. Apparently it was supposed to be 3 dozen, but there were 3 small notes inside, from the outbound inspector, inbound inspector, and the base commandant, all requiring an inspection fee, with apologies. Bryson's grandmother was apparently something of a legend in the 501st, with his father and uncles having received similar care packages with similar results. Sindu could not relate. Dactyl didn't know their parents, only their creche mates, and they were his competition, not his friends. Still, he could, if he squinted, see how such relations might build camaraderie, even if the cookies tasted like recycled paper to him. He never asked for one again, nor was offered. Other miscellany arrived, but it was Sergeant Apone's package that silenced and stunned the gathered troops. The package contained 1 package of 12 dozen unisize socks, 1 family-sized container of foot powder, 1 box a gross of unlubricated, unmedicated condoms, 1 box of 12 packages of alcohol-based baby wipes. Sindu stared at the others in surprise. How is this an amazing present? You never gawk at the presents from other families. Dude, this is the Holy Grail, SPC Levant exclaimed. Sindu blinked his nicitating membranes rapidly in confusion, in a way his battle buddies could comprehend. Cindy, PVT Oregano said, seeing the confusion. He just nailed the perfect care package. Don't you get it? We always have wet socks, especially in the trenches. A package of fresh, comfortable, clean socks? That's gold in the trenches. Same with the powder, except that works everywhere we get moist. Crotch, feet, neck, wherever. It makes our gear tolerable. That stuff on a long march is worth more than water. Sindu could see that somewhat. Though Dactyl did not sweat, being an insectoid carapaced race, moisture did cause issues at certain joints. Being able to keep those areas dry was something that good armor, better than he warranted at his rank, took care of. But what of the other 2 items? You have no females here? The condoms, SGT Zim asked. Son, those are for our guns and gear. The latex keeps dust, mud, whatever off and out of our gear. You can tie them off for small items or just slip them over the barrel until you need to fire. And you fire right through them. And the baby wipes? He asked determinedly. There are no babies here. Any march you go on, you get hot and dirty. Showers? What are those? Toilet paper? Never lasts long enough. Bandages and wound cleaning? Rough when on maneuvers. But a package of alcohol wipes does for all of that. Sindu was confused. He looked from Terran to Terran, then turned to the commander. Sir, if all of these items are obvious and valuable, why aren't they standard issue? The commander laughed, clapped him on the shoulder, and simply said, Welcome to the army, son. Ixvar was from a far corner of the galaxy. He had heard of humans, he said, and so he had come to see for himself. The nearest human representative was Trade Representative Anderson, and so he went to the space station where she had her office. HFY was from a race that looked like 4-foot-tall capybaras. Tall, rather than long, because they were capable of standing erect. He was in an appropriately sized chair in Trade Representative Anderson's office. "I have heard amazing things about you humans," he said, "but your appearance does not seem to give any evidence that you can do the great things that they say you do. You know that the Lorgan Empire is going to start moving against you. I fear for you with your weak bodies." He sighed. "I know what it is like to be from a weak race." Trade Representative Anderson thought for a moment. Then she smiled. She pressed a button on her desk and a door opened. She made an odd shape with her lips and then a very loud, high-pitched sound. Out through the open door charged a monster. It ran on 4 legs and it was fast. It was covered in yellow fur. It was as large as HFY, and it was clearly a predator. It had what seemed to HFY to be far too large a mouth, filled with far too large teeth. It glanced at HFY, then ran up to Anderson. Is that a dog?" HFY managed to say. "Yes, this is Biscuit. She is a kind of dog called a golden retriever. They are very friendly." Biscuit rubbed against her leg in a way that HFY decided was affectionate. "But," Anderson went on, "let me tell you about wolves. Wolves are fierce predators. They look something like dogs, but some of them can be as large as a large human. They are very fast. They hunt in groups. They can kill animals larger than themselves. They are terrifying." HFY shuddered. "From wolves," Anderson went on, "humans bred dogs, dogs like Biscuit." "How? How did you do that? Genetic engineering?" "No, just breeding. It took us a very long time. Hundreds, maybe thousands of years. It is one of our greatest achievements. We were only able to do this because inside each wolf, there was a bit of golden retriever." HFY said, "That is interesting, but it is not the kind of thing I was wanting to learn about humans." Trade Representative Anderson nodded. "One more detail, and then I will answer what I think you are asking. If you tried to attack me, you would find out that inside Biscuit there is still the wolf. You would have a vicious, deadly predator trying very hard to kill you." HFY shivered and stared at the dog that was happily getting ear scritches. "Now to answer your question. In a way, humans are similar to dogs. We came from wolves. Not literally, you understand, but we came from that, and we to some degree put that behind us, though perhaps less successfully than the dogs did. But if the Lorgan Empire is unwise enough to attack us, they will find out that the wolf is still there, inside of every human. If they attack us, they are not prepared for what we will become." HFY was extremely alarmed. He made his excuses and left quickly. He made his way through the space station to his own ship, boarded and departed. Once in uncontrolled space, he hastily sent a message to his spymaster in the Lorgan Empire. He needed to know about this immediately.